we'll see if the floodgates open. Gersich on goal! Yes, sir! Shane Gersich makes it
2 weeks into the regular season, and there is no sign of the #1 team in the nation slowing down anytime soon. Hello and welcome to North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry. I'm Alex Heinert. Coming up on today's show, we're going to take you back to Saturday in UND's Hall of Fame contest against RPI. We'll also look ahead to this weekend in a game against an undefeated Bemidji State team that we're looking forward to. Plus, we will hear from Brock Boeser, Tucker Pullman, and others on why they chose to turn down going pro for a season and return to UND. Those were decisions that the man next to me had to be happy about, certainly, as we're joined by the University of North Dakota men's hockey head coach Brad Berry. And Brad, we'll get your thoughts on the guys deciding to come back for another season a little later. But first, we'll go back to this weekend, just one game on Saturday against RPI. Just a one-game schedule this week is a little different, obviously, than the usual doubleheader. What about that, having one game, is a pro and a con?
Well, I think, the positive is you can throw everything into one game and you don't have to worry about the two-game set. And, obviously focusing on one game is a little bit easier than two games. But I think the negative is, it's a longer work week. And guys just want to get to the game sometimes, and we want to make sure that we are prepared, and we had a really good week of practice.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it showed on Saturday. We're going to get to those highlights coming up next. Stick around. UND RPI when we come back.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back. We're talking about the events of this past weekend with UND head coach Brad Berry. And Brad, this weekend was an event. Most games usually are here at the Ralph, but with the homecoming week activities going on, UND's Hall of Fame taking place, also the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame here in town. It really felt like this was a big deal, and your guys stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes, when you have a lot of outside activity, there seems to be a little bit of a distraction, but it wasn't in that situation. Our guys are used to it. At the Ralph, we honor a lot of players from the past, as we did with Jason Blake and Lefty Curran from the Hall of Fame committee. So again, our guys stayed with it, and really proud of the fact that they got the job done.
Yeah, Jason Blake, a part of the opening ceremonies. As you go to the highlights in this one, Gage Osmus, probably getting used to ceremonial puck drops by this point, getting set to get things off against RPI, a team from the ECAC out of Troy, New York, making the long trip for a one-game series against you. And early on, they took advantage of the atmosphere and made the most of it. Quick pass up the ice, Riley Bourbonnais, a quick pass across, and put home by Evan Tierney.
Yeah, you know what? We weren't in our proper structure in the neutral zone, and it gave them an offensive opportunity early on in the game, and that's something that we're going to have to shore up during the work week here.
Maybe just a hint of offsides there. It was awfully close, but the goal would end up standing 1-0 RPI.
Yep, we had our on our heels a little bit, but I thought we responded nicely here.
Big save right off the bat by Cam Johnson as well, just a couple of minutes later. They didn't have many shots on you, but the ones they had were great opportunities, and Cam steps up here.
Yeah, he did. He had to make a couple saves early on in the game here that kept us in it to a one-goal game. So again, obviously Cam's a very good goaltender, and he had to get called upon early.
Another opportunity there on a 4-on-4. Bourbonnais again rushing in on net. Great play, though, by Christian Wolanin, making a mistake but hustling back to make the stop.
Yeah, that's what we preach. Stick on puck and try to disrupt the opposition from getting an offensive opportunity.
Final 4 minutes of the first, you get on the board. A great feed, Ludwighoff to Joel Janetween in his first of the night.
Yeah, these guys had a good game together. They were put together, have a little bit of chemistry, and they made a nice play, an offensive zone play to get one to the net. And as you can see, just battling through, powering through, and protecting the puck. And Ludwig does a great job of getting it to Janny, and Janny made no mistake on it.
A little European connection working for you there. 1-1 at that point. Go to the second period. Freshman defenseman Andrew Pesky, we've seen him a couple times this season so far, makes a nice play to hustle, pushes the puck into the zone, and then good things happen for you.
Yeah, you know what? The play started just before that. Tyson Jost was coming up on the wall, getting a little bit of pressure, and Andrew Pesky jumping up in the play, made a great play to get in the zone, and then obviously following up on the play was a great job to get it to the net, and it was a big-time goal.
Yeah, second goal of the season for Tyson. Again, Boeser able just to kind of nudge this one on net. Chase Perry, their goaltender, puts it right back out, and Jost is there.
Yeah, no, it's a great play by 4 guys on the play. Offense started in the D zone, and the guys did a great job of breaking the puck out.
Less than 2 minutes later, great attack here by Ludwig Hoff, again shrugging the defenseman off the puck and finding Janatuinen for his second.
Yep, came out in the offensive zone forecheck of taking the puck away from their player, and again, once we got that puck, then our next wave came in, and we made no mistake on that one too.
A really great aggressive play by your forwards right there, just hustling up and trying to make something happen when nothing was there.
Yeah, exactly right. You have to disrupt their play, and again, making sure that our next wave comes in.
We're able to get a couple good looks.
3-1 at this point, midway through the second, and just a chance here at the end of the power play where your defense maybe just falls asleep for a moment. Another great chance, and this time Jake Wood for RPI takes advantage.
Yeah, it was at the end of our power play there, and I think it's a teaching point to our players too that if there's an offside, take it, making sure that you touch the puck here, because if you don't, then they're going to offense right away on transition. So again, we'll have to learn from that and move forward.
Rensselaer Polytech Institute, a group of smart players. They make a smart play there to cut the lead to 1, but you would almost extend that lead to 2. It's Hoff again from his knees this time, and the pipe denies him.
Yeah, you know what? Great job of getting the puck to the net. And again, what I like about this is the relentlessness by Ludwig trying to just funnel that puck to the net, and unfortunately just hit the post.
3-2 going to the third, and 5 minutes in, you get an additional one here as Cole Smith, freshman kid making his first appearance for you this season. A great hustle play to get the goal to make it 4-2.
Yeah, he pushed the pace coming across the ice, had to beat a defender there, and he's a big man that has really good skating ability, and it gave him an opportunity to get a puck to the net. And again, very congratulations to him for getting his first collegiate goal.
Well done for the kid from Brainerd, Minnesota, taking advantage of the opportunity there to make it 4-2. The celebration afterwards was fun, just to see how much the rest of his teammates understood the moment and appreciated what the kid did.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a reason for that. I mean, he's done all the right things on and off the ice to get the opportunity. It's great to see him have success there.
Great smile from Cole at the end as well. And now finally, 4-2, Joel Janatuinen completing the hat trick. A great bit of individual skill to beat Chase Carey and make it 5-2 North Dakota.
Yeah, started with a quick transition up the ice, and then obviously in the zone he makes a nice play to get around the defender here, and in one motion get the puck to the net. So hope to see a lot more for that from Janny.
A little Drake Kajula-esque there on the move, getting to the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
That the final goal of the game, you'd go on to stay perfect on the season. Your team's first 3-0 start since 2009. You dominate in shots again, out shooting the Engineers 38-14. Third straight game, you've held the opposition to under 20 shot attempts. The stars of the night, though, the trio of Janatuinen, Hoff, and Cole Smith.
Every 5-on-5 shift we had with Ludi and Pogo, I think we played well, got a couple chances, and getting one in the first right away, tying it up, was big, and I think we just kept it rolling all game long and got a lot of chances, and I was just lucky to get 3 in.
It was not super good passes, but I play with really good players, so they score when they get the chance.
Not making those first few games kind of made me just work harder, and my games were practice, and I had to go out there and practice as hard as I could, try to crack the lineup. I started breaking out, and he had a great chip, and the D kind of slid over, and I just kind of chipped the puck by him. Didn't really know where I was shooting, just put it on the net, and when it went in, it's kind of an unbelievable feeling.
First couple shifts after their goal, I think we really got it going, and I think we really dominated the whole game, so we just got to play that game for 60 minutes from now on.
Well, shortly before we spoke with Joel and Ludwig, you had a fun exchange with those guys in the hallway before they were going into the press conference, telling them to remember to speak English when the media asks them questions. Yeah. We don't go typically, UND at least does not go to Europe very often, just 6 players all time, but it has paid off to look across the Atlantic for these 2 young talents.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't go across the water to look for them. They came over here to play in the USHL, respectively, on their USHL teams, and that goes to show that their commitment of coming over and trying to get a scholarship. So, we identified them here, and again, we're very glad we have them in our family.
Now, with all due respect to RPI and to Canisius, who you played the week previous, the level of competition is going to start to raise up here soon. Yeah. All next 5 teams you play, all ranked in the top 20, beginning with an undefeated Bemidji State team. That's a good Beaver program going on.
Yeah, they got a very good program there. Obviously Tom Saratori does a great job coaching his team. He has a lot of good players around him, and they work hard. They got a workman-like mentality, similar to what we have. So every time we play them in this building, it's a war, and we got to make sure that we're prepared and ready for them.
Yeah, big Friday, Saturday series coming up against the Beavers. Stick around, more about that series to come here on North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry. Welcome back. Well, after the success on the ice for UND last season, many expected the outgoing number of players choosing to sign pro contracts would greatly exceed the number choosing to stick around. But even though 5 did leave for the professional ranks, there was a core group that decided to return to North Dakota. Their time in Grand Forks was not done yet.
My parents sat down with Vancouver when we were actually at the Frozen Four, and I didn't know about it until after our championship game. So I think they just talked with them and kind of decided that my mom and dad wanted me both to come back. People thought there's a lot of pressure, but I announced it like 2 days after we won just to get that pressure off my shoulders and just focus on this next year.
After about a week of, just, letting it soak in and enjoying teammates and family and everything that happened at the end of last year, kind of had to talk about it a little bit and had to address it.
I think we all did a really good job at kind of not worrying about that during the season, but, definitely after the season when I had to, make the decision, what camp am I going to go to? I had a little bit of interest to maybe sign in certain places.
At that point, you really have to look at your future and what you want to accomplish and what's best for you. Like you create a pros and cons list.
We kind of had an idea after the season, which guys were going to leave and which guys were going to stick around.
I talked to Tuck and Gage this summer. I also talked to Nick before he signed, really trying heavily to get Nick to stay, but he had to do what he had to do.
There was a ton of conversation just with my class last year. I lived with Troy Stetcher, Keaton Thompson, Luke Johnson, and Paul Adu, and they all decided to leave, which is, maybe the right decision, maybe the wrong, who knows, but it was the right decision for them at the time.
I think where they were at in their point in their career was probably, obviously they made the best decision for themselves, and obviously, they left the legacy here, and you can't fault them for leaving when they did. You're kind of bummed when you lose those buddies, but you'll obviously stay in contact with them, and it's going to be pretty cool following those guys throughout the year for sure.
I think the main reason that I stayed is because I don't want to rush my development. I think some players, they rush to get to the NHL, and sometimes they don't last there and stuff. So taking my time and just letting me develop will definitely help me in the long road.
It was a really easy decision for me to come back and not try and sign somewhere. So it's an unbelievable place to play. I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity, and that was something that I didn't want to just walk on.
Gage, I think he was staying from the start.
I came here with 4 years in mind, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come back for a 4th year, and I didn't really have enough reason to leave this place.
Tucker, I know, I think he had thought of it, but I think I had a pretty good feeling he was going to stay.
I mean, it wasn't like coming back here was ever a bad choice. I didn't see an issue with staying another year and working on getting better. And if you leave early sometimes, maybe you wish you'd go back. I didn't want to regret that or anything.
7 seconds in, and
As kids, me and Colton used to play floor hockey, and our mom would tell us we'd always talk about playing for UND and stuff.
Growing up here, obviously looked up at the University of North Dakota hockey team like that was the ultimate goal, but as you get older, you realize there could be other things in the plans in the future, and obviously playing pro is all of our dreams now.
Yeah, hopefully someday to sign pro maybe and play in the NHL and win a Stanley Cup. That'd obviously be the goal, but I'm focused on my time here, and I love this place, so I won't be leaving anytime soon.
Well, first off, Brad, those are 4 guys, of course, that you're very happy to have back in the program this season. Just talk about what their decisions to come back have meant for you and for this team this year.
Well, first of all, having that core group back, it's great to have them back, and it's very important, the key for our success this year, to have those guys back. I think it's very important that they realize that, they did probably have opportunities to leave to go to the NHL, but coming back for the right reasons will only make them only more ready in the future when they do leave here.
Cam mentioned that one of the messages from the coaching staff last season was to worry about that career type stuff after the season gets done. And obviously that's maybe easier said than done when you know a pro career is looming, but what does it say just about the character of that group to try and keep the focus on what mattered most last season, the team first?
Well, again, you just hit on the head, Alex, about team first. That's what our group is. It's a team first mentality, and there are outside distractions sometimes about looking too far down the road, but our guys really have a narrow focus on what they want, the job at hand, and winning and having success here. And you got to hand it to them because, like I said, it's not easy, but they handle it the right way.
Stressful decision for those guys. Stressful for the coaching staff as well, waiting to hear back. What is the stress level like as you wait to hear on the decisions from these kids?
Well, you know what, as far as stress, from us, it's not that much. It's, obviously you want to do well for your players, and you want to make sure that they have a great opportunity if they do leave here. And when they come back, if you ever have to err on the side of caution of staying a year longer, you get to work on your leadership skills, and you get to be a part of a great family here.
Well, one of the new faces at UND that might have a chance in the future to make a decision like that is Dixon Bowen. Our Katie Hale sat down with Dixon. We'll give you his story coming up next. Welcome back. Well, the last name Bowen is a familiar one to UND hockey fans, as Jeff Bowen played for the Sioux in the 1980s and later came back as an assistant coach in the late 1990s. His son Dixon now continues that tradition. With Dixon's story, here's our Katie Hale.
I'm here with freshman Dixon Bowen from the North Dakota program. Dixon, you are no stranger to this program. Your dad played here, also was an assistant coach. What is it like to wear this jersey for you?
It's truly an honor to wear this jersey. My dad played here back in '87. He won a national championship, and he coached in 2001, and he also won one then. So it's, just growing up around this program, I'd come down after every game when I was a little kid, so it means a lot.
You've been around this program, as you just mentioned, since really your whole life. So you kind of have a little bit more of an insider view. What have you said to some of the other freshmen that makes this program so special, or what have you seen growing up that makes it so special?
The culture, and the coaches and everything, like the fans around the game, just makes you feel like welcome and, not a stranger. So I'd say the biggest thing is coming into the program is just the coaches and teammates just make you feel right at home.
Absolutely. So when you're going to be out on the ice, a few games in, how do you think you're going to feel? Nerves? I think your dad's probably going to be throwing up in the stands maybe. We don't know, but
yeah.
How do you think you'll be feeling?
Well, a lot of excitement. Just watching the games when I was younger, just seeing myself out there. But yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of nerves. Hopefully get through the first couple shifts and be ready.
I think you'll do just fine. You're one of 4 East Grand Forks, former East Grand Forks players on this team this year. Talk a little bit about the development in East Grand Forks and how you got to hear from North Dakota, or to North Dakota, I should say.
Yeah, we started at a young age together, growing up around guys like Gage Osmus, Tucker Pullman. You kind of looked up to them, and me and Colton just kind of, watched those guys and watched what they did. And we grew up around some good coaches like Kerry Eads and my dad and like Tyler Palmasino and those guys, and they brought us up through Bantams and high school and stuff, so learned a lot from them, and it created a good couple of years of good teams. So.
Absolutely, they've done a remarkable job, as attested to all of you being here. In terms of your play, what do you think will be one of the most challenging aspects for you to kind of get up to speed with of Division I college hockey play?
I think just the speed. Coming from juniors to college, it's definitely a step up, and obviously it's a little more physical. There's bigger guys, stronger guys, so get used to that.
In knowing you, though, I've seen some of your play. You don't shy away from those big guys, even though the size might not be there for you, so that's good because you carry that physical style of play. How about any superstitions?
Yeah, there's one. Me and Cole Novel, he works here now. We take a shot of lime juice before every game. So
This is a first.
hopefully we can keep that going here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. We're so happy to have you, and looking forward to watching you on the ice this year. Thanks, Dixon.
Thank you.
Brad, you played with Jeff Bowen back in the 80s here at UND. Is it a little bit surreal to be coaching his son now on this team?
Yeah, it is. You know, it's a great opportunity, and it's I think for their family having you know, a father and a son go through our program, it's got to be something special too. I know one thing, it makes me look a lot older here because now I'm on the second generation here. So again, it's very special.
Yeah, Dixon already making an impact. Yeah. That line of his between him and Zach Jan and Trevor Olson, the boy line, already making an impact on this team this season.
Yeah, they do. They play with a lot of energy and a lot of pace, and they do things the right way. And that line has been good to start off the season, and they've been good over the course of the last 3 games.
Well, you're looking forward to seeing them this weekend against Bemidji State. Coach, best of luck in preparing for the Beavers. Good luck in the weekend. We'll talk about it with you next week.
Thanks, Alex.
Stick around. We'll wrap things up here on North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry after this.
North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota.
The first rivalry series of the season drops this weekend at the Ralph as UND hosts the Beavers of Bemidji State. It's a matchup of two teams with a combined record of 7-0, and we've got both games for you live here on Midco Sports Network. Jake Brandt, Katie Hale, and I will have the call at 7:30 p.m. on Friday and 7 on Saturday. As always, if you can't make it to the Ralph in person, we hope you join us here on Midco SN. Another big series on the way. We'll recap it all next Tuesday night right here on North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. We'll see you at the Ralph.
First real chance of the game following the chip. They shot it down and knocked in the back of the net. Strand fires one across, scooped up by Austin Pagansky. Just